Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this 29th July UPSC MCQ lesson and Mission 2020 we are calling it. For the last 2 months these lessons are coming in the evening every day and 7 days these are available in both Hindi and English language, and you should follow the Hindu lessons in the morning, and in the evening the MCQ lessons are coming. Current affair based issues and very important way, a unique way to memorize things, and on a daily basis we are discussing 8 to 10 questions. Sometimes I take time to discuss a huge topic, so the topics which are very important and very crucial for current affair issues, so there we take some time. So let's start the lesson. And the Pocket News app is trending on Google Play. You can download that, and top faculties have made these affordable courses, and the description is given below the video, and these all courses are available there. You can call on these numbers, and you can ask something on chat section also, which is given on the website. And this is the Facebook's group where I upload the PDF. Telegram's link you will also get there on this group. You can follow me on Instagram too, and this is the link for Telegram channel of mine. So question 1, IPS officer VK Johri has been appointed as new Director General of. Sometimes we hear news that some Chief of Air Staff is changed, Vice Chief of Army is changed. So these kind of informations are important for CDS and CAPF examinations. And in UPSC also they may ask you, who knows, because they can ask anything. Now recently, Border Security Force, BSF, it's a paramilitary force in India. We all know they come under Ministry of Home Affairs, and that's the thing. They do not come under Ministry of Defense. So this is important detail, and C is the answer here. VK Johri has been appointed as DG of BSF. It's the country's largest border guarding force of India. 84 batch IPS officer VK Johri, and it's one of 7 Central Armed Police Forces, 7 CAPF forces, and it is one of them. It was raised in wake of 1965 war. It was there with Pakistan, so that's why it is protecting the borders of Pakistan and Bangladesh for India. So they are deployed there. And for other borders like the China border is there, so Indo-Tibetan border force is working there, ITBP. And Sashastra Seema Bal is also there for Nepal and Bhutan borders. So that's the case, and they may ask you about these details. Remember, these 7 forces of CAPF, they come under Ministry of Home Affairs. These are paramilitary forces. They are apart from the regular army. Next, sovereign debt is debt issued by a central government, usually in the form of securities, to finance various development initiatives within a country. This statement is perfectly correct, because sovereign debt is also called the public debt or the government debt, and sovereign debt also. They raise the money with some bonds or something like that, or they may raise it directly. And some institutions also, they may give money, and some individuals, governments and all, they can go for this money raising. Now the first rule is that whatever you borrow, you put that money into developmental aspects, asset creation, and you do not use that into revenue expenditures. But the problem is that when economies are in trouble, then only they are planning these kind of things, and at that time they need revenue financing, so they use this thing, and that is the worst case. And there are allegations in India also that like fiscal deficit they are targeting, but revenue deficit is not coming down, and that's why they are going for some financing. So they will go for domestic financing also, they will go for overseas financing also. So overseas sovereign bonds, first time they are raising money in the foreign currency. And even in 1991, when it was a stage of financial emergency, actually this was not declared as financial emergency, but our forex reserves, they came down to $1 billion. So that was a very struggling and very negative phase for Indian economy, and after that everything changed about India. So even at that time we were under so much pressure. We took loan from IMF. We did not go for these money raising in foreign currency. But this time this thing is discussed, and a lot of criticism is coming that why overseas sovereign bonds you are issuing. But they are saying that there is no rethink, and we are very much sure about this option, and we will go for that on a limited scale. So that's the case. So first is correct statement, second is wrong. Actually, the stable economies with their stable political systems, they are choosing for this financing method mainly, normally, because it's a general case. They are asking just a simple question. Unstable economies will not go for that. They will go to some organizations like IMF, World Bank and all, and at that time these are more challenging times, and their credit worthiness and their credit ratings are not that much high. So unstable economies will not go for sovereign debts. Sovereign debts are normally raised by economies which are stable. So today we are not in an unstable phase, although some questions are there regarding our economy, but more or less we are a stable economy, and our political system is also very much stable. So the second statement is wrong. Only one is the answer here. Listen to all these issues very carefully. These are very important topics. It's a central government's debt issued by a national government in a foreign currency in order to finance the issuing country's growth and development. You see, they may go for foreign currency or they may go for the domestic currency, but normally most of the times they are going for foreign currencies, because domestic currencies are not that much acceptable for these countries who are going for these loans or going for these debts, because they have less capacities, and most of the times they are in a developing stage. So their currencies, they do not have that much demand on the foreign platform or international platform. So some currencies, normally these 6 currencies like euro, pound and yen, dollars, these are getting some value there, and these are in much demand, so that's why they can go for that. But Indian rupee is not that much in demand, so they can go for foreign currency or domestic currency. Both options are open, but normally these are raised in the foreign currency, and it is also called government debt, public debt or national debt. Okay. And they always see that what kind of condition is there and what kind of rating is there. International debt assessment agencies are there. They are working for this assessment regarding different countries. So there is a rating for India also. And this is how they work. This is all given here. I have explained to you the core issue here and why this is a very relevant issue. So these are the takeaways here. Okay. Things are risky, and you see, if these things are going overseas, if this sovereign debt is there, if we are not able to repay that, then it's a question of our image, and we have to repay that at every cost. So normally if we are not able to repay it, then we go for forex reserves, and they are at a very comfortable position. Our reserves are good now, they are in a comfortable position. But if we will not be able to repay these sovereign debts, then we will have to repay these from our forex reserve. So that's the case. So these are the risks involved in sovereign debts, and sometimes you see economies are so much in bad condition that they are not able to finance their own expenditures. So sometimes they go for some extra money printing, and that is the case of hyperinflation, because after the excessive money printing, hyperinflation will certainly be there. So it can be one of the consequences, and always in the UPSC questioning they will ask you for consequences and which can be possible in the future regarding some given situation. So this is also a possibility, and normally the default risk is always there. Next, the similar issue, sovereign bonds is a debt security. Obviously it's a security. Why? Bonds means if I ask you for money and I give you a bond and I write here that I will pay you 10% of interest, and after 7 years I will repay this money, and you give me 10 lakh rupees. So you are giving me your 10 lakh rupees, although you will not give me, but suppose you will give me your 10 lakh rupees and you have given me the money. What is the security? Security is this bond paper. So that is called as a debt security, and issued by a national government. As I told you, these are public debts, and sovereign bonds can be denominated in a foreign currency only. This is wrong. As I explained to you, these can be in both currencies. But why normally countries go for foreign currencies? Because these are most accepted ones. And for the first time we are issuing this direction that we will raise the foreign currency debt there. So we will have to repay them in dollar terms, and that's why it is going to be a risky situation for the forex reserves, because forex reserves are there in dollar amount, and we will have to repay these in dollar currencies. Next, India has never resorted to large scale foreign currency borrowing even during the time of 1991 balance of payment crisis. You see, when trade deficits are there, means you have imported more than you have exported. So if this situation is there, then you need to repay that. If you are not able to repay that with your forex reserve, then it is the case of balance of payment crisis, BOP crisis, and in this crisis IMF is the body that helps, but it applies a lot of conditions on that country. It means they need to they need to open their economies, the FDI should be allowed, and all these companies, they should be allowed to establish there. So open your market. So that's the condition of IMF. Many other conditions are there, and we had to apply those conditions in 1991. There was a balance of payment crisis. We were only left with the $1 billion at that time. Today we are close to 400. So that's a good thing. But you see, even at that time, even at that brink, we did not go for foreign currency borrowing. But today we are allowing that. In this budget, this thing is discussed. So the second is right option, first is wrong, because in both the currencies you can go for that, domestic or foreign one. But normally they go for foreign ones. So only 2 is the answer, B is the answer here. And the same issue as I explained to you. Okay. Less stable the economy is, less capacity the currency these countries have, then they will go for foreign currency money raising. That's the case. Okay, and one more thing, more stable the economy, they will have to pay less interest rate. Less stable the economy, they will have to pay high interest rate. Means sometimes some poor people, they go for they go for these asking for the loans to the banks, but they do not have any collateral with them, so banks will not be able to give them money. Where banks charge 10 to 15% of the interest rate, but they are not able to take it, then they go for private financial companies. How much they charge? They will charge more than 15%, always 15, 20, 20 to 25, these kind of interest rates they will charge there. So why? Because you do not have any security, and there is a risk that you may fail in repaying these loans. So that's the case. Although these private finance companies are very smart, and they are having their own ways for recoveries and all, but they go for higher interest payment always. So that is also considered here in these cases. Like Canada raised this money with its bond, and it paid only 1.34% to Americans. But Brazilian government, they paid 12.84% of the interest rate. So that is also the case applicable here. So you please go through this PDF, read all the text. This is very, very important. Okay, why this is a big deal, and why this major policy shift is going on right now, that you need to discuss there. It's an important article there. Okay, next. Mussoorie resolution, is it the outcome of conclave of Himalayan states? Very right. First time Uttarakhand has organized this conclave of Himalayan states. 11 Himalayan states are taking part in it. That actually they took part in it. And Mussoorie resolution, because it was Uttarakhand. So second statement is obviously wrong, because Himachal Pradesh has nothing to do with it, because it was the first such conclave, and it was there in Mussoorie, because the name suggests Mussoorie resolution. Mussoorie is there in Uttarakhand, not in Himachal Pradesh. So second is wrong, first is correct. Okay, they invited Nirmala Sitharaman as a chief guest. Why? Because they were discussing the issue of 15th Finance Commission. Finance Commission is the constitutional body. Article 280 is there. President appoints Finance Commission for 5 years, and 14th is going on. 15th discussion is going on for 15th one. So it is meeting all the states, and from 2020 onwards it will work. What is the main responsibility of the Finance Commission? Whatever tax proceeds are there, they will suggest to the government, only suggest, they do not have any authority. They will suggest that this much percentage you should give to states. Like in the last one they suggested 42% they must give to states, and rest of the amount center will keep it with itself. So only one is the answer here. Okay, conclave's agenda, because all the rivers, Himalayan rivers, were a major agenda, and these hilly states, they struggle with the drinking water problem, because these rivers, they are originating in their respective areas, but they do not have water. Like Shimla, because it is located on that much height, around 2.5 kilometer height, and that's why they do not have many sources of drinking water. So always it's a crisis like situation in Shimla, and residents say that they are diverting this water supply to these hotels and all. So that's the case. So they are discussing these problems. 11 states and all the hilly states of northern part of India, and green bonus. These states belonging to Himalayan region, they are seeking green bonus from central government, because many justifiable and considerable issues are there, and they say that environmentally and with the context of climate change, we are a very sensitive region, so we must be given some extra contributions by the central government, and these should be called green bonuses. Separate ministry they are demanding for hilly states. That is also a legitimate demand, because conditions are very unique. Always we see that in centrally sponsored schemes, normal percentage is 60-40, normal ratio is 60-40 for center and the state, and in hilly states it is 90-10. So that's why special cases are there, and for the first time these states are coming on a single platform for this Himalayan regional issues, and they came out with this Mussoorie resolution 2019. So that's the case. Next question, Sudarshan Patnaik. Sudarshan Patnaik, we all know he is a sand artist. He is a Padma Shri awardee. In 2014 he was given this award, and many times we see these pictures of all the sculptures that he makes on the beaches. So D9 is the answer. And recently he has been awarded the People's Choice Award in America. He is there in top 15 sand artists of the world. Okay, and this was the sculpture that he made there for Stop Plastic Pollution, Save Ocean. You can see the picture of the sculpture of a fish, and the plastic bottle is coming out of her mouth. So that's the reality he's showing with these sculptures, and other sculptures he has also made. And normally very frequently we see these sculptures in the newspaper, so that's the important thing. So plastic pollution, save our ocean. This was the theme of his winning sculpture there. Next, Global Tiger Day. Global Tiger Day is celebrated across the world on which date? 29th of July, today. And today we are going to release the tiger census. Every 4 years we have tiger census, and since 2010 we are doing that, and many new methods we are devising here, like the GPS on their collars and all. These are also given so that the right numbers we can know. In 2010 only around 1700 were left. In 2014 we achieved a lot, and around 2200, more than 2200 were there, the numbers of tigers in India, and that is the highest numbers in any country. In total, WWF says that around 3900 are left in the wild in the world, and maximum number are there in India. And today that 2018 census we are launching there, and there is a good news that around 3000 is the number of tigers in India right now, and this is due to all the efforts in 1972 we launched this Wildlife Protection Act, and in 73, the very next year, they launched this National Tiger Conservation Authority, NTCA, and since then the conservation effort is going on, and we have here Stripes is a specific program which was asked in UPSC Prelims in 17 year, and I asked you the Mike program that was regarding elephants, and this Stripes is regarding tigers. So Royal Bengal tiger is the national animal of India, and B is the answer here. All the details are given there. And why 29th of July? Because in 2010 in all these tiger countries, you see Tiger Summit was there in Russia, because Russia and Myanmar and other Indochina countries, Bhutan, Nepal, India, these countries, they are having tigers populations. So they signed this deal, and they said that we will double the animals population by 2022. So 29th of July. Next, cities and countries. Jeddah, a religious city, and many times we hear about Makkah, Medina and these Hajj Yatris and all. So Jeddah is also the place which they visit. So Jeddah is there in Saudi Arabia, and it is there on the coast of Red Sea. On the western part of Saudi Arabia it is located. Alexandria, it is not in the Greece, although the name looks like that, but it is there in northern Egypt. So it is there in African continent. Goma is the city, very much in news because of the Ebola outbreak, and this issue is going on. It is there in DRC. Goma is there in Democratic Republic of Congo. It is not there in Rwanda. So it is on the eastern part of DRC, which is bordering Rwanda. And Bujumbura is the capital of Burundi. Burundi is located east to DRC. So none is correct. None is the answer here. You should visit all these places, and on the map actually, not really. If you can, then you should go. Lake Kivu is there west to Rwanda, and here this is Goma city. Bujumbura, this is Lake Tanganyika, and this is Burundi country, and this is Bujumbura as a capital. Alexandria, northern Egypt, and Mediterranean Sea is there. Red Sea is there. Jeddah is here. So these are important ones, and you must visit all these all these areas on the map, and please look for additional details. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani.